But so few people are talking about what is an absolute crisis, and I think the lack of coverage is a scandal.
Me too. I think it's a sort of, it's a media problem. It's a political problem. It says a lot about the way the country functions. I think on the media point, there are good reasons for it. Like you, Dan, I'm a former newspaper journalist. I for over a couple of decades watched as particularly newspapers, for budgetary reasons, had to cut back their regional bureau, stopped sending district men out into the country, and journalists retreated behind their desks and stared at Twitter all day. But it does mean that the further from desks and Twitter you are in the country, the less likely you are to get real coverage.
No, I completely agree. And I think it's a real shame, though, that you don't have the BBC standing up to say a story like this is incredibly important, because you just know that if this happened in London, it would be dominating the news. And, James, I think this is a phenomenon we're seeing more and more. Take, for example, the recent car bomb attack outside Liverpool Women's Hospital. There was a press conference that afternoon, hours after the bomb exploded, hosted by the Prime Minister, where not one journalist asked the PM any questions about that car bomb. Now, do not tell me that if a car bomb had exploded outside Westminster, it would not have dominated that press conference.
Yeah, no, I think that's fair. And it's funny that we spend a lot of time talking about the politics of levelling up and digesting the meaning of the 2019 general election, the Brexit referendum. Some of which was surely the fact that a lot of people from bits of the country away from the southeast feel quite unhappy about the way power and attention is distributed around the country, and the way the economy works, the way the politics works. And I should point out, we're here originally to talk about Northumberland, where a lot of my fellow Northumbrians are still pretty cold and miserable tonight. I'm talking to you from South London, so who am I to talk? I live in London because I want to do the sort of job involving media and politics, and to do that, I had to come to London. And because this is where the conversation is. It would be nice to think that one day we get back to a point when the next me from the next generation doesn't have to leave Northumberland and can stay and do this stuff and be heard. Because frankly, if I was still in Northumberland, I wouldn't be writing that article for the Spectator. I probably wouldn't be on. I wouldn't have the little platform I get if I'd stayed there. Which is a big media problem. You on the BBC, but to be fair to the BBC regional journalists have done a really good job of covering the story we're talking about in Northumberland and elsewhere. And they've been in my parents' village. They've been round and about. I think the questions are at sort of national output level as to how much national importance is given to the story. There are good local journalists on the ground. It's just and some of them I know are frustrated that the story is not getting more national airtime. But it's the at national level the problems come in.
No, I completely agree. And James, people in the north are becoming increasingly disillusioned with the mainstream broadcast media as a result, aren't they? I mean, I've seen a lot of polling on this very issue, and they do not feel anymore like most of the media represents them.
I'd be interested to look at the polling. Speaking as somebody, I spent the first 20-odd years of my life in Northumberland. I've been away for the next 20-odd. I've got to say, certainly the bit of North Northumberland I'm from, London always felt like it was a long way away. The BBC, the national media, always felt like they were a long way distant. So, I think I think the trend I've talked about, the sort of the withdrawal of regional reporting, the increasing focus on social media, on metropolitan concerns, I think has definitely added to it. But we should bear in mind there's always been an issue. It's always the London media has always been a long way away from places like the one where I grew up.